Hello, beautiful people. Every day opens at the same time to all men, but every day's outcome is not the same for all men. Is the giver of the day unjust to some and favors some? No. The use of one's day is solely in the hands of each individual. Every man is born to Mother Earth the same way, but the living standard of even two raised under the same roof differs. Not because one gets a better treatment than the other, but because everyone has the liberty to handle their day as it pleases them, as everyone around them can only suggest and try building them to the truth. But walking in the truth is solely the responsibility of the individual. This is why you can be highly disciplined and your children the direct opposite. The choices a man makes are the reflection of his true desires. The boy gets into school and all of a sudden he was staying up late at night with the wrong type of friends. His parents has fought all his life, but the slight chance he plays out his true desires without control. Living and existing are two very close experiences that every man must be careful of, because today you might be living and tomorrow you could just be existing without knowing you have switched lands. Let's take some time and dig deep into what is existence. Existence refers to the state of being real. This is to say one takes up space, meaning where he is, another cannot be. Two persons cannot stand in the same spot. You cannot stand at the same spot with another person at the same time unless one will have to carry the other. If that happens, still you are both not standing in the same spot. This is the proof of one's existence. To exist comes with many conditions that must be met if one will be dwelling safely. To exist, you have to eat, drink, and sleep. The kind of food or drink that will keep you existing depends on the height you have climbed. This is to say, what will keep some will not keep some. There is a level of existence that will not allow another in their height. This is why you can see some can eat whatever and others cannot. Because of their level of existence. Because of the level they have been able to work their system to, and their system knows there is a level of existence that will not allow another in their height to stay in the same city with them. This is why you can see the rich struggle for spaces that they cannot by themselves maintain. Existence is not just about positions that one can occupy physically. It also has to do with fame, the level of coverage that one maintains and will not want to share with another. This is not because they wish not to allow another to succeed, but because existence does not allow it. Two cannot be in the same space. It is my space and I can't share it. That is just the idea when it gets to do with existence. Now let's briefly talk about knowledge. Let's briefly talk about the knowledge of existence. Existence comes with so much fighting and owning. Failing to acknowledge your present position does not mean you will avoid suffering the losses that comes with if you had no knowledge of it. One of my favorite verses states, "Men are destroyed for lack of knowledge." What do you know? What have you studied? All the sources a man seeks are hidden under knowledge. The right update can turn a man. This is why men of knowledge seek after updates. The right update can turn a man into a billionaire overnight. I once met a man who shared with me how he sold his company just for the chance of multiplying his total worth. And he played out because of the high level of accuracy in the information that was given to him. Information that carries with it the power to transform a man's life is information that is periodic. It expires sometimes very quickly. Latecomers will only end up losing their resources and energy in the process. You don't want to be that. Knowledge helps one to understand the position of the mindsets he has surrounded himself with. This enables a man to know who to stay close to and who has expired from his life. Because we can keep people that have expired too long in our life and they start causing serious damages that sometimes is beyond repairs. But if we do not know that they have expired, how can we let them go? And until we let them go, they form what is called weight. So much so that we cannot move so quickly as expected. Briefly, let's look at this. Why was I born? Why were you born? Why are you alive? What is your purpose? Let's go through it together, people. There are 2 days in a man's life that is very important in the man's journey. That is, the day a man is born and the day he finds out why he was born. The day a man was born is not as important as why a man is born. The reason why most things will not be interesting to a man is because he is yet to understand why he is placed in a particular system as of a particular time. The day he is able to figure out why he is involved, his attitude changes. Common saying, when the purpose of it abuse cannot be avoided, people. If there's one thing that should interest a man, it should be, why am I here? Your good days on earth are tied to your purpose. And unless you have find out why, life every day will be like wandering in another man's space. And you don't want that. Can we now say a man's worst days of existence are the days before he finds out why he was born? The journey to finding out why you are alive is a quest. Every man must do all possible to find out. Does this mean some will not find out why they were born? Hell no. The Creator wants us to know why we were born, because as long as you do not know why, you will not fit in perfectly to the activities you will stumble into that are part of the reason why you are alive. Let's take a moment to ponder. Are you really born to bathe all the warm waters, eat the best dishes from the professional chefs, and stay in the well-planned houses with the best furnitures and maids serving your every need? Let's take some time. Just think about it. We'll be back shortly. Enjoy the next clip. I don't think so. You are here to achieve greater purposes. If not, you wouldn't have survived beyond a minute after your birth. This is why you are still alive and healthy. God's intention for every man created is that he should come into the world and save others. There are a lot of challenges mankind is yet to find solution to. And you were brought here in the hope you will bring the solution that will help others stay more efficiently. I get asked often, how can I know my purpose daily? And I often ask, when you get out, do you often see things that can be done better? All of the harsh feelings you get from others' action in life are all things that the Creator has brought you here to fix. Most of the time, people do not realize most of the imbalances you can see. You can see them because only you can do something about them. Shockingly, everyone around might not even see anything wrong with most of the stuff that you can figure out can be done differently. This is the easiest way to know part of your purpose, especially daily purposes. Living. Life is a gift given to us by our Maker with the hope we will gladly give it up for the betterment of others. God's intention for man was to create a system like that which is in heaven on earth, where all is done in the same name and purpose of love. What is living? It is something that is alive, something that can grow, move, and reproduce, and carry out various activities. I am interested in the word growth in the definition of living. This is beyond sleeping, waking, eating, and drinking. Both means you are making progress, no matter how little, but there must be progress. Living has not much to do with oneself. It has much to do with others around. If we all carry with us solutions to different problems in the world, then we can say a man is living. When we can see solutions he brings to the table for the betterment of others. Always remember others. It has to do with others when you say you are living. Sometimes it's shocking. I see some having solutions, but they feel it is too small. So they said, no need. But I have never seen a big building that is not held together by sand and cement. And you know how little a piece of sand is. And cement, we can't even measure it. Is powder. Those are what hold the biggest structures together. So how do you now tell that your idea is too little to salvage a system? How do you judge it? That little idea only you can see in that big firm can be the salvation to thousands of jobs. That's just reality, people. So no idea is small. From the little, the big is formed. Give your small idea a chance, and not long, you will be shocked that the small idea has grown so fast. Do not despise the days of little beginning, for from the little days, we build momentum to fire to the big day. God the Creator will never give to a man all the stages he will undergo from the beginning. He will only pop up a little idea. Once you accomplish that, you will see a bigger idea. So you will start climbing a ladder to somewhere you could not have imagined. Do not look down on any idea that comes. Work with all ideas. You can refuse to attempt an idea that drops on your mind, which would be a solution to challenges others are facing. Sometimes, some do not take any action on their little idea because of fear, because they are not aware how important that little idea would contribute to the betterment of the system that they are involved in. So they look down on it and despise themselves and their ideas. A friend once told me of her dream of how she saw different African clothing with particular designs. When she woke up, she immediately went to find where she could learn how to make those kind of designs. And while learning, she shared the idea with her teacher, and in partnership, they were to start running her vision, but she never took it seriously. And after a short while, that's just a funny line, after a short while, everyone was wearing those designs she saw in her dreams. But the big question is, was it a design? As of that time, they were wearing those designs. No. Why? The small idea was not given the chance to grow. Remember, most seeds are not as big as the fruit. But without the seed, you cannot get the fruit. Every idea you follow opens you up bigger things. But if you continue saying no and doing nothing about your ideas, you start fading and dying from your purpose of existence daily, people. Let's take some time out and dive into the disadvantage of existence. Some believe if they could have all the pleasures, they will find satisfaction in their soul. Funny, it has never worked in any generation, so it will not work still in this generation. Everyone that has found true satisfaction on earth found satisfaction from the genuine desire to see others get better. Not from their pride, but for the glory of others. This is why Christ Jesus came. He came to die for others, sacrificing his own life for the sake of others. You must also be willing to sacrifice for others. That is where true satisfaction dwells, people. Men in the state of existence cannot understand this matter. They are shocked when others come out to say they feel a deep satisfaction from helping others. How? But when a man that is just existing stretch out an helping hand because of his motive, he ends up feeling hurt in the process of doing good, because the good is not something we did. People will possibly talk about that in possibly future videos. But let's continue. A man does not derive true satisfaction from doing good, but it is in the heart condition that brings true satisfaction. So you can do good and get true satisfaction, and you can also do same good and still feel unsatisfied, depending on the state of your heart. Let's take for an instance Solomon in the Bible. He thought as a man, if he could just get all the fine stuffs on earth and do all charity, then his soul will be satisfied. But after getting gold and silver, to the point his spoons and cups and every item, even to the least, were made of gold. He had the best bands play and entertain at his parties, and he enjoyed all pleasure out of the moment. Still, was he satisfied? Did he find satisfaction? At each finished party and charity, he noticed emptiness. He knew something was missing. There was a missing piece that need to come in for these charities and good deeds and enjoyment to be complete. He figured it out. Yes, he did. In search of the missing item, he gave himself to wisdom and gathering as much as knowledge as possible. At the end, he shouted out, "It is all sickness to his bones." Then he found out there was no satisfaction as long as a man remains on earth. It was all trouble every day, so he felt. He could not get the missing piece. That is still the issue. He stated, in his lamentation, he continued, "The belly never gets satisfied. The eyes want to see more and more. The ears are never tired of hearing and long for more. After all the pleasures and knowledge he filled his soul with, it led him to shouting out, all is vanity and bitterness of the soul." Oh my God. How can this be? If he had tasted the sweetest part of the world, how can it be all vanity? If it is all complete, that is just a sign something is missing. How can we escape existence? How can we escape it? Because if we do not escape the state of existing, our testimony with Solomon will not be different, because he got to the height, the peak of life, and all he could come back to say is all is vanity, waste of time, waste of energy. All is meaningless. As in meaningless. How can I have the whole world under my control and still wake up to regret it is all and underline all success I have achieved as meaningless? As meaningless venture. There must be something wrong. Is it just the wrong motive that is playing this hard on people? I don't think so. Because sometimes some motives are even right, and they end up saddened even more after they have done the good their hearts longed for genuinely. So it is beyond motive, far beyond motive. The only escape is finding you, not finding the world. Because if you follow after pleasure, you will only get to the same conclusion like Solomon. It is all vanity and bitterness of the soul. Some, in the manner of Solomon, have tried satisfying themselves with all possible pleasure, but ended up trying to take their own life, not because they are not good people, but because of the emptiness they could not deal with. But can that emptiness be filled? Yes, there's an empty spot, because there is supposed to be on every man's heart and indwelling. All paths leads to the same destination, the confused claim. But no, there is one path that does not lead everywhere other paths leads. I once had a lady friend who was a smoker. She smoked anything available in a shame. And she sang so well. That's the part I love about her. We sing in the karaoke, often singing to ourselves a few times. One day, after we've had a good singing, I asked her, don't you think you are killing your system with this pleasure of smoking? I think you would do better without the sticks that keeps you going. Funny me. The answer from her was very interesting. She said, this smoke enables me to get into realms where everything is perfect in my mind. Whoa. And I feel like a god when I am high, my dear. But the trouble is, it does not last. For me to remain in that realm, I have to light the next stick as long as I'm awake all day long. To have a taste of that feeling as long as I'm awake. This was her claim. This was the reason why she was smoking. It wasn't like she was a bad person, but she had to maintain a particular realm. She just needed to be in that realm constantly. There are two actions I know that can get people fulfilled. One is good deeds, and the other is fulfilling. Good deeds can bring momentary fulfillment, but what keeps a man constantly fulfilled is the indwelling. The indwelling. What is this indwelling? We'll get to talk about that. The truth is, whether the smoker, the herbalist, or no matter the religion or tradition, every man is doing all in their power to find God. Because every man's true fulfillment is hidden in God, not in deeds. And God's instruction to everyone is to seek Him, meaning there's a time God cannot be found. God can only be found, let's say, when a man finds mercy. When a man finds mercy when he is still alive here on earth. In conclusion, the worst state a man should not get into is a state of existence. Existence in the sense of living, having the things you want to yourself, and making sure you are okay at a particular time without impacting those around you. We are not created for the purpose of sleeping, waking, eating, and playing. If that was the purpose of man, there would have been no need for mankind. The pets in our houses would have served that purpose, but the Creator intended far more with man. That was why man was introduced to the picture. When people fail to embrace their purpose and walk in the light of their purpose of existence, the plans of the Creator are slowed down, not totally destroyed. Because when a man defeats the purpose of God, God raised another man to carry out that purpose. Whatever the purpose of God is cannot be defeated. It can only be delayed. But surely it will be fulfilled. If you found your purpose and refuse to do it, be rest assured another man will surely take your place. Man was created simply for the purpose of serving God and man. This is why every man's purpose is to do two things. One, to solve a particular problem, and to worship his Creator. These are the two major reasons every man is alive. This is where it gets a little bit challenging for so many. So they fail to find the need they are meant to solve here on earth for others. Their entire life and die wondering what could have been that purpose, and they could not find clarification till their work here on earth is over. This is why it is believed that the graveyard is the most wealthiest place on earth, because 90% of people do not attempt their full potential while they are alive all their days. It is far easier to exist than to live, because when you start living, your easiest day will be yesterday, not today. As you have to deal with so much needs that will be building capacity in you daily. Every day we're expected to be climbing to a new level with new demand you have not much capacity to handle, but you must handle. As tiring as it is for people to climb up mountains, so it is for those climbing up the ladder of life. It is never easy. It has never been easy. Do not be deceived. The easiest level of life is the present level. It's the present level you have overcome. And it is always the comfort level you can relax in and enjoy the glory of the present win. But be careful not to build comfort around such glory and remain too long like the Israelites people. God will not force a man to move. God only suggests motion. But as free as a bird, a man can, for the glory set, decide to go forward or find perfect reason to sit back until it is too late to fulfill destiny. The reason we do not do the things we should be doing always appears right at the moment. Unless we decide to go forward, God will not make stuff to look unbearable and lower than standard for us to get uncomfortable with. It is the decision to go forward that propelled our sight to see beyond the present and see what others cannot see. Unfortunately, there are two ways to this matter. It's either you are living your purpose or you are existing and dying gradually. To exist is funny because when a man is existing, God gives him a very long rope and he keeps going until the patience of God is exhausted. Note, the day you stop pushing your goal, you start dying. There's no middle ground. It is either you are hot or cold. Please, I beg you in the name of God, choose hot and keep burning and keep living your purpose. Each day you are alive, people. The most tricky way man starts existing is by keeping the wrong set of people with the wrong ideas, with a little persuasion, like the social gatherings and religious gatherings. All gatherings and individuals you meet have a role to play in your growth process. But the understanding of what you are meant to learn and master with such gathering or individual is your personal responsibility and not the responsibility of the system to figure out what you are to master or learn. A man once joined the church. When it was time for him to join the workforce, knowing he loved presenting, he had to join the media and started getting free trainings on presenting announcements, because the church or social gathering is a place where you can actually get along with and get free trainings and tutorials on a particular craft without paying a dime. After a long service in the church and mastering the craft, one day BBC News was in search of a presenter and somehow stumbled upon his presentation and fell in love with his delivery. Long story short, they came to Nigeria and made a special arrangement with the church to allow him to present the news that day, the day they were coming to fellowship with the church. And you can imagine the touch of his perfection he has been worked on made him pass the interview by presenting his church announcement. The big question is, how often do we get such testimonies? Is it the fault of the leaders of different systems and organizations? No. If the individual do not know why he is where he is, the opportunities will be wasted. This is how you differentiate between the existing and living. By their attitude towards activities that they are directly involved in that are important and those less important. You will find some giving so much time to things that are less important and giving less time to things that are very important. Not all activities lead to the same result. Knowing what really matters will lead one to fulfilling his destiny. People, it is okay to exist out of your purpose yesterday, but the day you notice you are off track is the most important day of amend. Do not allow pride to hinder you from amending your ways when you know you are out of track. on time. Most times the challenge with growth comes with a programmed mind when you make unnecessary mistake. Most times the challenge with growth comes with a mindset that is programmed. When you make unnecessary mistakes and fail, most times the growth mindset will not allow us the opportunity of starting all over again. But the joy of starting all over again, it does not take as much energy as before because of the wisdom and the level of understanding we've gathered, and can stand afar and tell all the tricks far away and can easily avoid them. This is where I'll be drawing the curtain today, people. I hope I've added value to your time again. Until I come your way again, do well to watch other of my videos and gather all necessary information, people. Till I come your way again, bye-bye. I love you all. I love you. Bye-bye.